Lumberjack.
Timber! Hello, Epcot, and welcome to the Canadian Lumberjack Show. My name is Christopher Bowler, and I'm going to be your host and MC for today's action-packed show. It's going to be one of the greatest shows you'll ever see. Or should I say, saw? Thank you very much. I do want to let you know that all the lumberjacks we have up here on the stage with us today, they are highly trained professionals. The events they're going to be performing in can be very dangerous, so we do ask you please do not try to do any of these events at home. Now we're going to start off with some axemanship, and then we're going to give you some sawing, then some chopping, and then we're going to head on over here to the pond, and we're going to end the show with a big splash and some log rolling. But if we're going to have a lumberjack competition, what do we need? That's right, we're going to need some lumberjacks. So let's give them all a big round of applause. I introduce them one at a time. First, on your blue team, our first lumberjack has traveled the world as a competitive lumberjack. He's a master of all the timber sports, Webb Beckstead. And secondly, on the blue team, this lumberjack does it all. He chops, he saws, he was even a collegiate log rolling champion, Anthony Lombardo. Let's hear it for your blue team. And on your red team today, our first lumberjack, he's one of the leaders of the camp. He's large and in charge, Lyle, Captain LeCaptain. And finally on the red team, this lumberjack is the true definition of a timber beast. Bench pressing 450 pounds, Chris Savage. Let's hear it for your red team. All right, guys, let's bring it in. Folks, we are going to give you a photo opportunity that you can only get right here on this very stage. So get your cameras ready. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much, sir. Let the games begin. All right, a lumberjack's first tool is, of course, his axe. And this is what is known as a double bit axe. It's filed thick on one edge and thin on the other edge. When a lumberjack walks in the forest, he takes that thick edge, starts chopping big chunks of wood out of the tree until the tree falls down. And when the tree falls down, what does a lumberjack yell? Timber! Timber, exactly right. Once the tree's on the ground, switches over to the thin edge. With one big swoosh, he's able to clear off all those branches, and now that tree's a log. So he jumps up on top of the log, switches back over to the thick edge, he starts to section the log. Once he's all done with that, he sets his sights on another tree, throws his axe into that tree, picks up all his personal belongings, heads on over, and starts the whole process once again. And that is how axe throwing got its start. Now, lumberjacks are highly competitive, and when they get back to camp, they want to prove who the best axe thrower is. And they compete for the ultimate prize. No chores. Yeah. So, throw it today for the blue team, we've got Webb. For the red team, we've got Chris. And we've got Lyle over here pointing out the bullseye in the center of our target. How many points that were today, Lyle? 5, exactly right. Thank you very much, Lyle. And moving out from the center, we go 4, 3, 2, and 1 point. Now, should one of our lumberjacks completely miss that target, we're going to give him a big, loud Canadian boo. Let's hear it. All right, that was pretty good. You didn't want to do it there? All right. But more importantly, when one of our lumberjacks hits the dead center of that target, we want to give him an even louder Canadian bullseye. Let's hear that one. Bullseye! Perfect. All right, before we start throwing, I want to divide the crowd here. So I'm going to go from this post right here, this post, and going over this way. You guys are all cheering for the blue team. Let's hear for the blue team. This post going this way, you're cheering for the red team. Let's hear for the red team. All right, our lumberjacks are each going to get a practice throw if they want it. Then they get 3 throws that count. Whoever has the highest score at the end of the 3 throws wins the event, earns 5 points for their team. Webb, you taking a practice throw?
I'm going to tell you after I throw.
That could be a good choice, all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're cheering for the blue team, let me hear you make some noise for the blue team. All right, let's see if Webb can start us off with a bullseye on his first throw. He lets it fly. 3 points. 3 points for Webb there. All right, you going to keep that or you going to go for it? He's going to rethrow. All right, he is going to use that as his practice throw. He's taking the 3 points off the board. He wants to hit that bullseye. Come on, blue team, once again, cheer him on. Here we go. And I think we have 4 points just outside the bullseye. All right, 4 points, good throw. All right, red team, now it's your turn. Come on, cheer him on, red team. We'll see if Chris can get that bullseye to start it off. Give himself a lead after 1 throw. Here he goes. He's lining it up. He winds up. He lets it fly. 4 points. 4 points for the red team. You keeping it or you going for it? He's keeping it. All right, little gamesmanship on his part. All right, so it's 4 points, tied up after our first throw. Okay, blue team, it's your turn once again. Come on, here we go. 4 points again. All right, so that's 8 points for the blue team after 2 throws. All right, red team, you have a chance to take the lead here again. Come on, cheer him on nice and loud. Here he goes. He's lining it up. He lets it fly. Looks like we have a 4-point, I believe, yes, 4-point toss at the very tip of the 4-point ring there. So we are still tied up at 8 points apiece. All right, here we go into our third and final round. He lets it fly. Bullseye! All right. Webb puts the pressure on. All right, red team, the only thing that matters is that you get a bullseye. Come on, cheer him on nice and loud. Here he goes. He lets it fly. Oh, 4 points, not quite good enough. Ladies and gentlemen, your winners, the blue team. All right, so the blue team's going to put 5 points up on their board. That's going to give them a 5-0 lead after one event. Don't worry, red team, there's more events coming up. Plenty of chances to score some points. Maybe come back, win the entire competition here. All right, folks, so now we're moving on to our second event, and this is the single Man Crosscut event. These are M-tooth racing saws. They have 72 razor-sharp teeth running up and down those blades, and each one of those teeth are as sharp as a surgeon's scalpel. Normally, you would have a second handle on the end of this saw, and you'd have 2 lumberjacks pulling them back and forth through the wood, but today our lumberjacks, they're feeling strong, they're feeling confident, so they're doing it by themselves in the single man event. Now, they're going to need to know when to get started here, so we're going to help them out by giving them a countdown. We're going to give them a 3, 2, 1, go. So let's all practice that. Let's do it so nice and loud they can hear us all the way up in the Northern Territories. So here we go, let's practice. 3, 2, 1, go! What are you doing? Practice? No, you don't practice. The audience is practicing the countdown. You don't need practice. What'd you do? What? You put it back. Gee. Thank you. All right, no more. All right, no more practicing. Here we go, folks. This is for real. First lumberjack who saws to their log is going to win the event, earn 5 points to their team. Blue team, you going to jump out to a 10-point lead? Red team, you going to get this tied up 5-5? All right, let's count them down. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! All right, they're going back and forth. Red team taking short, steady strokes. Blue team doing a little bit longer stroke there. All right, this is looking pretty good. I think this is going to be a pretty close match here. Oh, red team binding up just a little bit there at the end. All right, he's speeding it up now. Oh, all right. Come on, blue team. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, your winners, the red team. All right, so that's going to tie us up at 5 points apiece. And folks, before we move on to our next event, I want to take a brief moment to talk to you about something that's very important to us up here on stage, and that is our forests. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but 1 acre of trees can actually provide enough oxygen for 18 people. And that's one of many reasons why our forests are so important. And it's one of the reasons why here at the Canadian Lumberjack Show, for every 1 tree we use in our show, we plant 3 trees to replace it as part of our land management program. Another really cool thing is that all the leftover wood at the end of the day, we gather it all up, Disney collects it, they mulch it, and then they spread that throughout all the Disney parks and resorts. So let's give them a big round of applause for that, because that's pretty awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving on to our third event, and this is the standing block chop. Now, before we start this one, for those of you who are standing over here, if I could just ask for this one event, if you could just make your way right down here to the end of the fence, just for a little added safety, then you can move right back after the event is over. This event represents basically chopping a tree down in the forest. Our 2 lumberjacks are going to use their razor-sharp axes to chop these logs in half. The first one who completes the chop wins the event, earns 5 points for their team. Now, blue team, you've got Webb chopping for you. Webb, he is all about speed and precision. Yes. And red team, you've got Chris chopping for you. And Chris, he is all about power. That's right. Rumor has it Chris hits trees so hard that when he walks into the forest, they just fall over in fear. I don't know. What are you doing? It already fell. We had to put it back up, remember? No. All right. Well, never mind. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Blue team, you going to win this with speed and precision? Red team, you going to win this with power? All right, let's count them down. 3, 2, 1, go! All right, there we go. They're making their initial chops. They're going to open up the face on the front of that log there. Once they've done that to their satisfaction, they're going to turn. They're going to start chopping from the opposite side. All right. Looks like Chris is already making his turn here. All right, so red team's probably in a little bit of the lead there. All right. Webb's starting to open up the face a little more on the front of his log. All right, come on, folks. Cheer him on. There we go. Webb's still working on the front there. He's working the lead. He's now turning over. All right. Chris. All right, this is going to be close, I think. Here we go. Come on, folks. Cheer him on. Let's go. All right. Big chunks of wood flying off of these logs. I think the red team's about right there. It is. All right, come on, folks. Keep cheering on the blue team. I think he's got another couple chops left here. Come on, Webb. Chop, 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 chop. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, give them both a big round of applause. But your winner with power, the red team. All right, so the red team now is jumping out to a 10-5 lead as we head over to the pond for our fourth and final event and some log rolling. Now, log rolling got its start up in the Great White North. In the winter, when the lumberjacks would cut down the trees, they would drag the logs over to the frozen river. In the spring, when the river would thaw, the logs would start to float down the river in what was known as a river drive. The log rollers, also known as river rats or river pigs, they actually had the most dangerous job because they had to jump up on top of those logs. They'd use big long poles to break up any log jams that might occur, and they would ride those logs all the way down the river until they got to the end, what was known as the still water. And when they got there, that was a day of great celebration because that meant it was payday. Let's hear it for payday. Yeah. When they got there, they'd have log rolling competitions known as roleos to prove who the best log roller was. Now, the last river drive actually occurred back in the mid-1980s. It was held up in Nova Scotia. It was run by some good friends of ours, the Scott family, and they are still up there logging today. But here today at Disney, rolling on that log for this competition, for the blue team, we've got Anthony. And for the red team, we've got Lyle. All right, so let's shake hands. We have a nice fair competition here. Folks, we're going to go Canadian rules on this. That means hair pulling is not allowed, but beard pulling is completely acceptable. All right. Since the red team didn't want to give themselves their 5 points, I'll go ahead and do it for them. There you go. All right. Now, those of you who are lined up in the front here, we do want to let you know that you are in what is known as the splash zone. So we hope you enjoy that today. I know it's been raining on and off, so who really cares anyway, right? I just wanted to remind you, though, sometimes your electronic equipment doesn't love it as much as you do, so just be careful. This is going to be a best 2 out of 3 event. That means our rollers have to win 2 of the 3 rolls to win it. Therefore, it is worth 10 points, and only 5 points separate our 2 teams, so it's still anybody's competition. Blue team, you going to come from behind to win this? Red team, going to keep the lead, maintain the victory? All right, let's count them in for the important first roll. 3, 2, 1, go! All right, they both made it safely onto the log. Now they are facing opposite directions, so that means when one of them's going forward, the other one is going backwards. Oh, Lyle throwing out a big splash there, trying to throw Anthony off his game there a little bit. Kind of throws Anthony a little off. Oh, Anthony returns the favor. That was a huge splash right in Lyle's face. Now they are starting to bob that log up and down. So not only is the log spinning around and around, but it is bobbing up and down at the same time, just to make it even more difficult. Oh, all right. Almost got Lyle off balance. Oh, Lyle switches. Oh! Lyle changes the direction, and he gets Anthony off the log. Your winner of the first roll. What? It doesn't count. Why does it not count?
I slipped on a wet spot.
You're on a log in a pond, and it's been raining. And, yeah. I tell you what, let me think about that for a second. No, it's a completely invalid excuse. It's 1 point for the red team. Red team, you're up 1-0. If you win the next roll, you win the event. You're going 2-0. Blue team, you gonna tie it up 1-1. All right, let's count them on. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, both safely on the log once again. All right. Anthony trying to make. Oh, all right, get another big splash. Oh, he's asking for some more, asking for another splash. He gets it. Oh! That was one splash too many, maybe. This is why we tell you not to try this at home, folks. Are you okay?
I don't think so.
I don't know what's worse, the fact you just landed like that, or the fact that people are recording it, it's going to end up on YouTube. The landing? Yeah, you might be right. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was clearly a split decision. And that's 1 point for the blue team. So we are all tied up at 1 apiece. We are going to a third and final winner-take-all roll. Whoever wins this roll wins the event, earns 10 points to their team, and wins the overall competition. So one last time, let me hear your red team. Make some noise, blue team. And let's count them out for the third and final roll. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, both safely on the log, staring intently at each other's feet, trying to figure out which direction their opponent's going to try to spin that log. A quick change of pace, a quick change of direction. Sometimes all it takes to get your opponent off their balance and fall off the log. Oh, once again, bobbing that log, trying to get their opponent's feet deeper into the water, make them slow down. Oh, we've got lots of motion, we've got splashing going on. Oh! Lyle loses his balance. Your winners, the blue team. And that means that the blue team comes from behind to win the overall competition 15-10. Give a big round of applause to both your teams. Folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to give you another photo opportunity right now, so get your cameras ready. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to go ahead and make our way back over the front of the stage there. If you'd like to stop by, take some more pictures, or just say hello. We're the Canadian Lumberjack Show. Thank you so much for coming to watch us. We really hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back here at 5 o'clock, and until then, Timber! Ladies and gentlemen.